The movie begins with a demonstration by protesters. They are not happy that their company does not follow safety rules, because of which many workers were injured. Karina was among them. The bosses are not interested in their problems, forcing the workers to create mayhem. 10 minutes later, the police arrive, and the footage spreads all over the internet. One day, Michelle came to visit Karina. On her legs are special structures to fuse the fracture. But what's scarier is that during the riot, Michelle was caught by the police. And when he went to visit Karina, he broke the law. But Michelle says not to worry. The day of the operation comes. Michelle says that in 3 months he will be cleared of the charges, and he will be able to move in with Karina, making her very happy. At the same time, his daughter Salma is concerned that the other kids are watching videos of her father. Salma is not going to listen to the insults and smears the girl's face with horse feces. Temperatures are rising around the world. At 5 a.m., the temperature in Paris is 29 degrees, and by this afternoon it will be 42 degrees. Salma's mother, as well as Michelle's ex-wife named Elisa, come to pick up their daughter. The principal tells her that their school doesn't want problem children, but as a sign of respect for Bernard, he will give another chance for remediation. Because of the high temperature, the plants begin to wilt. But Elise doesn't pay much attention to this and suggests that her daughter go swimming. She is not interested as she wants to meet her father. Salma learns that Michelle wants to move to another country and asks her not to. Michelle tells her that he has no choice. After the trial, he was abandoned by absolutely everyone, even Salma and Elise. But Karen stayed with him. Now she needs his help. Tonight, excessive acidity rains hit Brazil. Everyone who couldn't take cover suffered chemical burns. Scientists believe these levels of sulfuric acid are very dangerous. Given the increased concentration of pollution, is predicted to worsen the situation and spread to the northern hemisphere. By 2030, most of Southern America will be completely destroyed. But Michelle does not see this as dangerous. It is more important to develop social reforms. A new day is dawning. Michelle has taken a job as a loader. A heavy downpour has enveloped the whole city, and although it's normal, Salma can't forget the TV program. Closer to bedtime, Elise notices that she didn't close the window. A small puddle has appeared on the floor. She immediately puts a towel over it and goes to bed. After only a minute, the towel starts to get white stains. Tomorrow, the students of the school go to class, but before they do, they hand in their phones. Thanks to the internet, people find out that there was acid rain during the night. Elisa's house is in a red zone. She tells Michelle this news and asks him to take her daughter out of school. But Michelle can't help. He is not allowed to leave work. Because of this, Salma goes horseback riding. A little later, Michelle and Elise arrive at the school. The radio broadcasts that the town is going into quarantine mode. If a person is exposed to acid rain, he must inevitably remove his clothes and call an ambulance. Tap water is now considered unfit for consumption. Eliza learns that the class has gone for a walk and asks them to rush to the stables. Salma notices dark clouds. The road to the stables is blocked. A storm cloud envelops the whole forest. Michelle decides to break the law and drives in the wrong place. The acidity level starts to go off the charts. A single drop burns through the trees. In the distance, the screams of students are heard, and Salma tries to escape. To find his daughter, Michelle runs straight to the stables. As soon as he spots his daughter, they hide together in the riding arena, but the roof starts to leak. They break the news to Elise. As soon as the woman parks, the duo cover themselves with rags and hide in the car. Traffic jams formed on the roads. Everyone who didn't have their own car was caught in the acid rain. A man tries to hide in Michelle's car, but he kicks him back into the rain. Elise has to push the cars out and drive off across the field. A little later, the family hides in a supermarket. Bernard asks to drive east, only there he can help them. Acid rains are spreading in the north. The east is safe for now. Because of the rain, the roof of the car has started to burn through, and to stop the chemical reaction, they cover the roof with rags. Suddenly, Michelle gets a call on his cell phone. He leaves the family and tells Bernard that the car must withstand the trip. Then Karen calls, but she doesn't pick up. Everyone who survives starts to leave town. All of France is practically destroyed. Only in neighboring countries began to make shelters. The acid jams the locks. Sabine is stuck in the trunk, but she manages to break the door down. Their car can't go anymore, but they made it to Belgium. Like France, it's in shambles. The family decides to go to the nearest houses. The phone connection is back and Michael manages to reach Karina. She asks not to rush to her. It is safe in the hospital. Just as suddenly, the connection is cut. Michael checks the water pipe. The plastic is not melted, which means that the water is suitable for drinking. But to make sure of this 100%, gives the water to the cat. Salma notices this and pours out the water. Ordinary shoes melt, and to move on the ground, Michel invented foil shoes. A new day arrives. The refugees take advantage of the lack of rain, and the family walks to Bernard's house. But he asks for a change of path. The road is blocked. To keep the bridge from collapsing, the military allow a limited number of people onto the bridge. Elise is pushed forward, and the military forces her to walk across the bridge. Suddenly, the steel cables start to break. Elise and the others fall into the river. The water turns acidic, and Eliza dies. All the civilians are rounded up by the military at a military base. They are given chargers, and Michel manages to call Karina. She informs him that they are being evacuated to another hospital. The military convoy will go in a completely different direction, but they can drop Michel off at the railroad station. After a couple of hours, all the cars stop, so they have to walk the rest of the way. And in the distance, dark clouds begin to appear. Panic makes everyone flee in different directions. Michelle miraculously spots a hole in the wall. After waiting out the rain, the duo continues on their way. They come across different houses, but all of them are scorched with acid. The whole town is deserted. Salma blames Michel for Elisa's death. Suddenly, Michel falls unconscious. A young girl notices them and lets them into the house. Deborah notices a tracking bracelet on Michel's leg. The room was tattered with acid and medical equipment. The duo help the boxes down into the basement. Michel asks if there are people in the neighboring houses. Deborah doesn't know that. Michel takes an axe and starts searching the neighborhood. He manages to find a lot of food. However, Deborah doesn't like the fact that he was breaking into other people's houses. Late at night, the acid content of the rain has gotten even higher. Now even the roof is melting. Michel notices this. They try to tell Deborah about it, but she has locked herself in the medical bay and hears nothing. And behind her, the acid is approaching. The roof collapses, forcing the duo to take Deborah's car. Salma doesn't want to leave them behind, but there was simply no choice. A couple minutes later, the acid burns through the electronics. The security system stops the car. After a restart, the machine starts up again. The girl has a nervous breakdown. This becomes the last straw, and Michel asks to sit in silence. As soon as he's outside, the girl runs away. The field starts to drain. The acid burns through her shoes. Michel runs back to the car and notices her daughter missing. The girl realizes that running away was a bad idea and tries to escape on the wrecked tractor. Her screams are noticed by Michel, but the car gets stuck in a mixture of mud and acid. He runs through the pain to his daughter and carries her back to the car. A new day comes. Michel is now unlikely to be able to walk. They seem doomed, but they are spotted by the military, already at the refugee center. Salma asks to find Karen. It turns out she's dead by now, but she does not say anything to Michel, although Michel already understood everything. This is the end of the movie. We'll be back soon. Bye.